an article about what I was trying to do. So it looks like this if you don't see it out of all your papers. Again, no one is prepared for a natural disaster, and no one thinks it's going to hit them. When it does, you hope your body, your representatives, your friends stand with you. My community will not benefit from this bill. We want those of you who have a future problem to have this option. This bill is optional. House Bill 594 will allow temporary property tax relief for disaster damaged properties which are located within a nationally declared disaster area. The description of it, taking the language from the actual bill, seeks to amend, Speaker, House Bill 594 seeks to amend the Georgia Constitution by authorizing the governing authority of each county, municipality, and consolidated government and the Board of Education of each independent and county school system in the state to grant temporary tax relief to properties that are severely damaged or destroyed as a result of a natural disaster, if such property is located within a nationally declared disaster area. It is permissive. Our local governments are very supportive of this. They wish this has been on the books already. To describe it to you a little bit further, this bill, again, is a result of input from my community. We suffered greatly and are continuing to suffer. You heard Reverend Lemons earlier in the session to describe that to you. It destroyed everything in its path. But, and this is the rub, this was a natural disaster. We had no ability in our legal language, in our Constitution, in our rules, regs, code sections, that would help a local government deal with such damage as this. It was not enough that we had this storm. We had no legal ability to give temporary tax relief to property owners in that area. This bill will do that. It is very simple. You can read lines 16, 17, turn the page over, read it on down to line 22. Then on lines 27 through 32, it describes what the constitutional amendment will be. I hope that we as a body can come together as a body to support this effort. Again, my community does not benefit from it, but somebody you represent somewhere in this state will be very grateful to you that we join together as a body to pass this resolution. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Do you yield for questions?
No, Mr. Speaker, I don't. I think it's self-explanatory. I hope that I have reached the hearts and minds of the people in this chamber. We usually stand together when we see a need in common. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield the well.
Lady has yielded the well, and I've got other members that wish to be heard. Chair recognizes Representative Al Williams to speak to the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Sometimes bills get caught up in things that have nothing to do with the bill, nothing whatsoever. The politics gets in the way, and it becomes a vehicle. It's unfortunate for this bill that Chairman Smith has brought. Now, the safe thing would have been for me stay in my seat and have nothing to say about this, but I've never been a go-along to get along guy. People at 168 elected me because I've never been a go-along to get along. I don't want to start now. I believe in negotiations. Think things should be worked out. It's unfortunate, this bill. As a rural legislator, we're always during hurricane season threatened by a hurricane. We've been blessed in Liberty County and Savannah that usually we send it north to our neighbors in Charleston. So we've kind of missed a few, Mr. Majority Leader, and that's good. But who knows when? My house sits at about 39 to 50 feet above sea level. A good surge and in trouble. And I remember the last time we had the remnants of a hurricane. People are still complaining about how they had to swallow so much of the loss and then not see any difference when that tax bill came in. That's tough, to be taxed on the value of a house last year when you can't live in it this year. It doesn't even make sense for us to have to do this. It's almost a no-brainer. But every once in a while, we reach something that really needs correcting. We all stood with Chairman Smith, and I was proud to stand with her and her people, her county, the needs there. And this is not the time to get off that train. This is not the time. I still stand with it, and that's why I'm supporting this bill, because I think that it could have well been Liberty County, could have been Chatham, could have been Bibb, could have been Muskogee. And don't let politics move a good bill. This is a constitutional amendment. It's tough. I stand with my party. Been a Democrat all my life. You'll probably die in about 40 years a Democrat. I'll be here. I'm going to stand. But every once in a while, a bill rises above partisan politics and the lives and livelihoods of folk here now potentially should be above where we are politically. Because there's a couple of things that's really pet peeves of mine. One of them is, I'm not going to stand with you today and not stand with you in your hour of need on the next day, regardless of the political peril. Another thing is, I hate folk that cry when the flag goes by and then do unpatriotic things. You're either with the flag or you're against it. You're either with your friends or you're against them. And if the bill is good, then it's got to be better than what the debate is. Pick another one. I wish another one had been picked. There are a few bills I'd have loved to pick those, but not this one. Too much at stake. One thing I've found, that most of us in here live pretty good lives. We don't understand what the difference in a few $100s on a tax bill means to you the following week. We don't understand what it means to not be able to get a ride to the doctor's office. We don't understand it. We don't understand what it means for $200 or $300 to keep a child from continuing into a new year at a college because they can't afford the fees. We don't understand it because it hasn't visited us. And I submit that you don't really understand what the people of Chairman Smith's community went through because you were blessed enough not to live it. Because had you lived it, we wouldn't be standing here fighting for the life of this bill. I urge you to support this bill. Rise above for a minute and let's find another whipping boy. Not this one. Not this one.
Did you want to yield for a question?
I very seldom do, but I will. I'm loving it right now.
Chair recognizes Representative Bentley for a question.
I waved. I'm sorry.
She waves. So there went your question.
Boy, what a non-responsive group you are. I yield the well, Mr. Speaker.
Chair recognizes Chairman Ron Stevens to speak to the resolution.
Ladies and gentlemen, I won't take long. When my conversation with the chairman of Natural Resources, when she came to us and said, "Would y'all, here's our problem, how do we fix it?" We didn't realize that there was no ability for your taxing authorities to give relief, even on a temporary basis. So and thank you to the chairman of the Ways and Means, thank you to the subcommittee chairman when they put their heads together to try to come up with a bill that made some sense. And this is a really big deal. Imagine, if you will, waking up as she did and folks in her community, or like the gentleman from Turner County over here, whenever he woke up one day and we asked him, "What does it feel like? What is your community saying to you?" And he stopped for a minute and looked. He said, "Well, the best way I can describe it is like a bomb went off." And 6 months later, people are still walking around looking like they're in total shock. Or the lady from Bainbridge, the very same scenario. Ladies and gentlemen, today you've got the opportunity. There's not a single lobbyist out there that's pushing for this bill, but you've got an opportunity for your neighbors because it might happen to you. I yield the well.
The gentleman has yielded the well. This is a constitutional amendment, requires 120 votes. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to adopting the committee substitute? The chair hears none. The committee substitute is adopted. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the adoption of the resolution? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this resolution now be adopted? All those in favor of the adoption of the resolution will vote aye. Those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. What purpose does Chairman Darlene Taylor rise?
Parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
Is it not true that if this bill had been in effect a couple of years ago when we had Hurricane Michael, many of the residents of my area would not have had to pay taxes that did not exist anymore on homes that were gone? Thank you.
I believe the lady to be correct. What purpose does the Speaker Pro Tem rise? Oh, she waves. What purpose does Representative Dukes rise?
Parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
Is it not true that when Hurricane Michael desecrated southwest Georgia, destroying pecan trees, pine trees, and ripped away our way of life, our homes, that if we had had this legislation, we would have had an opportunity to provide some relief for the people of southwest Georgia?
I believe that to be true, Representative. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? All members voted. If so, the clerk will lock the machine on the adoption of the resolution. The ayes are 112, the nays are 30. This bill has failed to receive the requisite constitutional majority. What purpose does Chairman Lynn Smith rise?
Mr. Speaker, I move to serve notice of my intent to move for reconsideration of House Resolution 594.
The lady has that right, and I think we'll vote on that tomorrow. Okay. House Bill 1194 will be postponed until the next legislative day. What purpose does Chairman Hitchens rise?
Make a motion.
State your motion.
I move that House Bill 439 be moved from Public Safety and Homeland Security to Judiciary Non-Civil.
Chairman Hitchens has moved that House Bill 439 be moved from the Public Safety and Homeland Security Committee to Judiciary Non-Civil. The clerk will read the caption.
House Bill 439 to be titled, an act to amend Title 40 and Article 7 of Chapter 8 of Title 42 of the Official Code of Georgia, annotated relating to motor vehicles, traffic, and ignition interlock devices, respectively, so as to require the installation of ignition interlock devices in motor vehicles.
On the gentleman's motion that House Bill 439 be transferred from committee to committee, is there objection? Is there objection? The chair hears none, and the motion to transfer from Public Safety and Homeland Security to Judiciary Non-Civil is so ordered. What purpose does Representative Schofield rise?
Speaker, I move that the rules be temporarily suspended so that a bill may be read for the first time and assigned to committee.
Can you turn the mic on?
It's on. It's on. It's not working.
I'm told if you go back to the middle one. Representative, you need to go to your assigned seat, I'm told, and that mic should be on.
I think we got it now. All right. I make a motion, Mr. Speaker. I move that the rules be temporarily suspended so that a bill may be read for the first time and assigned to committee.
Representative Schofield has moved that the rules of the House be temporarily suspended to allow a bill to be read for the first time and assigned to committee. Clerk will read the caption.
Unnumbered House Bill by Representative Schofield of the 60th to be titled, an act to amend Title 34 of the Official Code of Georgia, annotated relating to labor and industrial relations.
On the lady's motion that the rules of the House be temporarily suspended to allow a bill to be read for the first time and assigned to committee, is there objection? The chair hears none, and it is so ordered, and that's assigned to industry and labor. What purpose does Representative Schofield rise?
I make a motion, Mr. Speaker.
State your motion.
I move that the rules be temporarily suspended so that a bill may be read for the first time and assigned to committee.
Would that be a resolution instead of a bill?
A resolution. Thank you.
Clerk will read the caption.
Unnumbered House Resolution by Representative Schofield of the 60th proposing an amendment to the Constitution so as to create the Family and Medical Leave Insurance Fund.
Chairman Schofield has moved that the rules of the House be temporarily suspended to allow a resolution to be read for the first time and assigned to committee. Is there objection? There is objection? Is there objection? There is an objection. Does the lady move? Lady moves. Lady moves. All those in favor of the lady's motion will vote aye. Those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machine. On the lady's motion to suspend the rules, the ayes are 57, the nays are 72. It required a 2/3 vote, and the motion has failed. What purpose does Chairman Hawkins rise?
Make a motion.
State your motion.
Move to suspend the rules so a bill may be read for the first time. I know.
Chair. You sure you want to?
It's a very important bill. If it wasn't, I would not do this. Promise.
I'm sure it is. Chairman Hawkins has moved that the rules of this House be temporarily suspended to allow a bill to be read for the first time and assigned to committee. The clerk will read the caption.
Unnumbered House Bill by Representative Hawkins, the 27th and others, be entitled an act to amend Title 31 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to health so as to create the Georgia Council on Addressing Healthcare Workforce Challenges.
On the gentleman's motion that the rules of this House be temporarily suspended to allow a bill to be read for the first time and assigned to committee, is there objection? There is objection. Does the gentleman move?
Yes.
The gentleman moves. All those in favor of the gentleman's motion to suspend the rules temporarily to allow a bill to be read for the first time and assigned to committee will vote aye. Those opposed to the gentleman's motion will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. What purpose does Representative Stacey Evans rise?
Parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
Mr. Speaker, isn't it true that a couple weeks ago I was pulling out the drawer of my desk and there was some paper stuck in the back? I was like, what is, my drawer won't close. And it was some old letterhead that belonged to Representative Sharon Beasley Teague. And isn't it true, Mr. Speaker, that I'm tired?
So is the lady saying she wants to go home? Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machine on the motion. The ayes are 93, the nays are 43. This motion, having failed to receive a 2/3 vote, is therefore lost. All right, we have a motion. We have some bills that have come back from the Senate that will all be assigned to legislative and congressional reapportionment. The chair is asking for unanimous consent that those bills be read for the first time and assigned to committee. I'm sorry, intergovernmental coordination. All intergovernmental coordination. My bad. Is there any objection to the motion? Chair hears none, and it is so ordered. Clerk will read the caption to a group of privileged resolutions.
Congratulating, commending Pat Pullar for receiving the 2022 Yellow Rose Nikki T. Randall Service Leader Award. Recognizing, commending Dr. Marshall David Almond. Congratulating, commending Doris Serena Howard for receiving the 2022 Yellow Rose Nikki T. Randall Service Leader Award. Recognizing, commending Black Voters Matter. Recognizing June 27th, 2022 is Georgia Post-Traumatic Stress Injury Awareness Day, and June 20, 2022 is Georgia Post-Traumatic Stress Injury Awareness Month. Recognizing and commending University System of Georgia Outstanding Scholars on Academic Recognition Day for 2022 and for other purposes. That completes the reading of the privilege resolutions.
Is there any objection to the adoption of the privilege resolutions? Chair hears none and the resolutions are adopted. We're going on now to announcements. Going on to announcements. If you have signed up for an announcement, come down to the front of the chamber. Chair recognizes Chairman Newton for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The members of the Committee on Access to Quality Health Care will meet in 5 minutes right up in room 403 here in the Capitol, 403 in the Capitol. Access to Quality Health Care. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Chairman Dubnik for an announcement. Chairman Dubnik, going once, going twice. Chair recognizes Chairman Ballinger for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Chair. The Juvenile Justice Committee meeting that was scheduled for today has been canceled. We're trying to reschedule for next Tuesday. Thank you so much.
Chair recognizes Chairman Jaspers for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Transportation. We are going to meet today, 506 CLOB, in about 10 or 15 minutes. We have some visitors from out of town that want to testify, so we need to give them respect and listen. And we also have one bill that needs out. Thank you, Speaker.
Chair recognizes Representative Barr for an announcement.
Good afternoon, y'all. The Resource Management Subcommittee meeting that we're going to have in the morning has been moved to Monday at 2 o'clock in CLOB 406. Resource Management, Monday at 2 o'clock. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Representative Gullett for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The EV Charging Subcommittee of EUT will meet tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock. In 406 CLOB. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Chairman Petrie for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The meeting of Human Relations and Aging for today has been canceled. It will be rescheduled for Tuesday at some time to be announced tomorrow.
Chair recognizes Chairman Lumsden for an announcement.
The Insurance Committee meeting schedule for this afternoon has been canceled. We will reschedule for next Wednesday morning. Thank you.
We have had a phone. Listen up. You might want to check to see if you have your cell phone with you before you leave. We've had one turned in up here at the podium. If it's yours, come claim it before I start reading all the content on it. Oh, no, I want to read the content on that one. That completes the announcements. Chair recognizes the Majority Leader for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I move that this House stand adjourned until 9:30 a.m. Friday, March the 4th, 2022.
Majority Leader has moved that this House be adjourned until Friday at 9:30 a.m. All in favor of the motion will vote green. Those opposed, no, just teasing. All those in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes seem to have it. The House will be adjourned until Friday, March 4 at 9:30 a.m.